Hello, everyone. I know I'm a little bit late to getting my post out there about the Amber Guyger verdict and what happened with the Botham Jean's family and how they forgave her and the rippling effects it had on the community. And I've heard a lot of comments on that, ranging from they're total coons and, what they did, they shouldn't have forgiven, to, oh, that was an amazing thing that they did to forgive. It shows their strength in Christianity or willingness to be compassionate, all the way to they shouldn't have been castigated like that in the media because they're also coming through a conquered mindset, and that's pretty much the only thing that we've been trained to do, as a people from slavery times. So, what I wanted to do is focus on the energetic aspect. For me, when you look at things from an energetic aspect, an energy point of view, you always find the simplicity in what is really going on and not get caught up in the distractions of opinions and what people think and belief systems. You're just looking at it from an energetic point of view. So, what I wanted to do, because unfortunately, this won't be the last time this happens, and there'll be more black families having to deal with the loss of loved ones and police being put on trial for killing unarmed black people. And so how moving forward, what is the effect moving forward based on different types of responses? And that's what this video is going to talk about. So let's get started. First off, let's look at where this comes from. Let's look at why black people in this country are the only ones that are asked, are you going to forgive? Because, nobody asked Nicole Brown Simpson's family or Ron Goldman's family if they're going to forgive OJ. Nobody asked that. No, they were never asked that. So it's always black people that are asked that. Forgive, forgive. Are you going to forgive? Are you going to forgive? There is an energetic reason for desiring that type of action from black people. Now, this stems from slavery times where, ancestors were in that position and in that culture. It was necessary in order to maintain the system of slavery, the system of systematic white supremacy. In order to maintain that, it requires, one, people to be in their respective roles, and two, the willingness to be in those respective roles. Now, you can go into a metaphysical down the rabbit hole of if you're in that role, you're willing to be in that role. So let's keep that in mind on the back burner. What I'm wanting to say in regards to that is what they understood on the energetic level is that if you're willing to be in that role, then the level of responsibility and accountability for the act of enslaving somebody else is much different than somebody not willing to be in that role. Because then you are using control and manipulation. You are using an energy that does not allow for long-term status quo. So it's very imperative to get the other party that you're wanting to dominate to be accepting of that role of them being dominated. It's important for them to be accepted in that role, because then you can continue to dominate without feeling the repercussions, feeling the karma of it. Because if somebody is willing to say, okay, yes, dominate me, then they're just doing what you're asking them to do. Okay, that's all they're doing. So then their karma is completely different than them enforcing and controlling their will onto you, and you are an unwilling participant. So part of training this type of forgiveness into our people during that time was, again, from an energetic point of view, being able to continue their systematic domination, systematic oppression without feeling the karma, without without experiencing the karma of using an unwilling participant. Now, in the grand scheme of things, one of the things that has been hidden from us is there were a lot of slave revolts. Okay, so it wasn't, as Kanye West would have said, it wasn't an en masse, you know, um, acceptance of that role. However, there was a large enough percentage of acceptance or unwillingness to do anything about it, which is in a sense a level of acceptance, so that their karmic impact on the dominant society was minimized. Now, what we're seeing is as more and more people are saying, you know what, we're done with this role. Okay, we got out of it what we wanted to get out of it, and it's time to be responsible and accountable for everything. Now we're claiming that is what needs to happen moving forward. We're beginning to see more and more of a karmic impact on that behavior. So what I'm wanting to say, and let's tying this back into forgiveness, the way that we were taught forgiveness is basically, oh, you harmed us, no harm, no foul. We'll love you anyways. We'll forgive you anyways. And let's just move forward. Slate is clean. Let's hug it out. Yes, we still love you. And what that's basically saying on an energetic level into the universe is that, yes, we are accepting our role in this systematic white supremacist system. We're accepting that. Again, karmically, the dominant society can continue business as usual, and they won't feel those repercussions because there are none. We're accepting that. So that's why it's so important for them to have us be in that forgiveness role. So when we do that, every time we do that, we are cementing our role as being dominated in this system. We're saying to the universe, yes, it's okay. We're okay with this role. We're okay with everything that comes with it because we're just going to accept it and forgive and not do anything about it. I wanted to communicate a different perspective of forgiveness and what that entails on an energetic level. Now, there are people who will say, well, isn't it good to not carry the hate inside of you and this and that? Yes, you don't want to carry the hate and anger inside of you because that also will hold you and cement you in that position in a different way. It doesn't allow you to move through it. It doesn't allow you to be in the consciousness and space of getting the ideas of what you can do to change your own position. So you're staying in the anger and fear and hatred of that will keep you locked in that. Now, there is a way to do both, to not be enveloped in the hate and anger, and to also not send out to the universe that, yes, I'm accepting this position and role within systematic white supremacy. There's a way to do both. So the way that you do that is you become accountable and responsible unconditionally for self and others simultaneously. All right? That is the way to move past that. So what does that mean? Become accountable and responsible unconditionally, simultaneously with self and others. Well, that means that you're accountable for the role that you've played, and you're holding the other person accountable for the role that they played. So that means if there's anything in you, in your behavior that you've done that has influenced what you're experiencing, you look at that and you say, okay, you know what? I see what I did. All right, I'm going to be accountable for it. I'm not going to judge it, but I'm going to take actions so that I'm not doing that again, so I don't bring this on myself again. So for instance, not holding the other side accountable for their actions, like just forgiving and not holding them accountable. That keeps you in the same place. So you can say, whoa, all right, I see what I'm doing. We'll go about this differently so that we're not, one, not allowing them to experience their karma, and two, freeing ourselves from holding ourselves in this position in society. And so there's a whole list of things that we could be doing differently to free ourselves, but that's just an example. Again, so what I said simultaneously. So now the other end is holding them accountable and responsible unconditionally. So Whatever they do, don't judge it. I know there's going to be a huge temptation to do that. Yet, this is about the energy, all right? It's not about what's good or bad or right or wrong. It's about the energy. Energy is energy. Energy is not right. It's not wrong. It's not good, bad, positive, negative. It's just energy. So, not judging them allows you to be able to raise your consciousness, to raise your energy level, and then consciousness to where you can get the ideas and insights of what you can do to move yourself out of the position of being subjugated. So you just have to decide, is it more important to hang on to the anger, or is it more important to free yourself? So that's a decision that only you can make. So I'm not going to say one's right or wrong. It depends on what you're looking for. If you want to free yourself out of the position, then you be willing to let go of the judgment. Okay. If you just want to be angry, that's a path. Then stay in that anger. But just understand what it's going to cost you, and then don't judge yourself that you're choosing that, and be willing to pay the price of that. That's all that is. Now, again, let's get back to them holding them accountable and responsible unconditionally. So again, it's like you're not going to judge them yet. They caused you harm. Their actions caused you harm. So you're going to hold them accountable for them making recompense for the damage that they've caused and holding them to that. So it's like, if they say, do you forgive? It's like, I'm not going to judge. I'm going to release the judgment I have over what happened. However, they caused harm. They caused great harm. And I'm holding them fully accountable and responsible for what they have done. And that's, in moving forward, how you can, one, not hold on to the anger, okay, and drown in that anger, but two, also not let them off the hook for their behavior. Because I know as Christians, we say, oh, we love. Letting them off for their behavior is not love. That's not love. It's like a parent. You don't let your kid behave badly and then not have them understand the consequences of their behavior. That wouldn't be a loving parent, because you're setting them up to just really crash and burn. So if you want to look at it from God says love all things, love all people, well then the loving action is to hold them accountable and responsible without judging. And then also yourself accountable and responsible without judging. That is love. That would be the love that God talks about, Jesus talks about, that you want to be, because that is the only thing that will free you, free us, free everyone, okay, but free yourself, within your own personal experiences. So I just wanted to have a little bit of a discussion, just kind of a little insight about looking at this forgiveness from an energetic viewpoint, and then moving forward, how can we move forward without getting caught in external expectations of what the dominant society wants us to do so they can continue status quo, and what we can do to free ourselves from status quo. Because what they want us to do is not, we don't want to listen to, if we want to free ourselves, we don't want to listen to anything they have to say about what they want us to do, because it's all geared toward maintaining status quo. If we want to free ourselves. Now, if we want to stay in status quo because we're getting something out of it, that's a different story. Be honest about it, understand the price you're paying, and don't judge yourself either way. Yet, also, don't make others responsible for your choices. Like if you want to stay in the status quo, don't drag others down with you, okay, if they don't want to. Find others to play with that want to remain in that status quo. But that's another story for another day. So I'd love to hear what your comments are on this. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and share the video. Thanks. Bye.